Hi, it's Terry Gaines. I'm going to give you some assembly tips on a fun card made with the Brilliance Wings dies. These dies come in a set of 12. You receive one die that will cut out 6 butterfly outlines all at one time. It does coordinate with the Butterfly Brilliance stamp set, which is actually a background stamp. All 6 butterflies are on the same stamp, so you can stamp all 6 of them and cut out all of them at the same time. I'm not going to be using the stamp set, but it'd be great to stamp on the inside of these cards. I am going to use the outline die, along with, for this card, I'm going to show you the assembly tips, the largest detail butterfly. Because the beauty of this die set is you can cut out the outline of your butterflies, whether you stamp them or cut them out with cardstock, but each of those 6 butterflies have an outline butterfly detail that goes on top, or you can layer with those, 2 smaller butterflies and 3 background dies. These dies are so fun to play with, and I'm excited to share this card with you. So I'm going to be using these dies, and the cardstock that you need, or I'm using for this card, and if you want to duplicate it, you'll need to cut these to the same size. The vellum background is cut to the size of the outline butterfly you want to use. I'm going to be using the largest butterfly, so I have cut it to size so I can cut out just that butterfly wing. So I've done that ahead of time. I am going to have a piece of foil sheet that is cut 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, and I am going to cut out the detail part of whichever butterfly I've used to cut out the vellum. This is going to be cut out towards the top of the vellum, and what you want to do is just leave a little bit of border. And I don't know about you, but I sometimes scar up my foil sheets. They get cut up from the plates or just even handling them. They're very fragile paper, but don't worry about that. Once you cut this out, like I said, towards the top, run it through a decorative folder. I love the subtle folder. It's a 3D folder, and what I did was I just placed it in my folder after I cut it out, and I chose to put this one in this direction, ran it through my folder, and what happens, it actually takes care of all those little scratches and you don't see those. That's the prep work for the foil sheets, and then once you cut it out, you have your butterfly. The prep work for the whisper white that goes on top, this is actually just a tad bit shorter on all sides than this paper. I'm taking this brick background and I'm going to run it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine and cut out a couple different images from this paper, and then I'm going to also run that through the subtle folder just to add a little bit of texture. So that is the prep work. If you want to add sentiments to your cards, and I've prepped that ahead of time, I end up with a lot of small strips of my Whisper White or very vanilla cardstock, and the Banner's Pick-a-Punch is perfect for those little strips. This is a carryover from the August through December 2020 catalog. You place it in and you can punch out whichever banner you would like, and it works great for a stamp set that is in the annual catalog called Frame for You. So what I do is I punch this, stamp my sentiment. When you cut your foil sheets, you end up with several smaller pieces. I cut a strip just a tad bit bigger, and I actually stamp my sentiment and then layer those, depending on which orientation you want for your card. I have one of each here. So that's all the prep work. So let's do the assembly. I think you're going to love this card. I'll move all of this out of the way, and then we can just have our information here for assembly. So what I'm going to do is use my Stampin' Seal, and I'm going to adhere the basic white cardstock to the foil sheet, and there is a small border on all 4 sides, so you want to line those up and layer that together. And see, now we have maximized our foil sheet. We are showing the foil sheet through these openings, and yet we have taken out our butterfly from there. So we've made the most use of our foil sheet. with this technique. Then you're going to adhere this directly to your card front. And if you choose, you could put this on with dimensionals. I am just going to place this on with my Stampin' Seal. Now we've got this layered. We are going to, or if you're duplicating it, you'll do the same thing. But what I'm going to do is attach the foil outline butterfly to the vellum cardstock butterfly. But what I want to do is eliminate this part of the butterfly. So I'm just going to hold this together, take a paper snips, trim that off, and I want this to be attached. So this is on like so. I'm going to use the mini glue dots to attach the foil butterfly to the cardstock vellum butterfly. And so you just put a couple mini glue dots. I think it's always good to put a couple so you have stability on there. Just double check that none of it is exposed. If you have exposed adhesive and place it in an envelope, it will make your card stick to the inside of your envelope. So we don't want to do that. So now that I have those two attached, and I think that just adds a little bit extra to the butterfly, I'm going to attach the butterfly with the mini dimensionals. And I'll move this like this. You can see that these are small enough that they'll hide right underneath the body of the butterfly. Take off the backings, and you can attach this butterfly wherever you would like. Now, I also mentioned the sentiment. So you could attach the sentiment up in the corner, down in the bottom. You can attach it over on the side. I'm going to attach this one up towards the top. So I'm going to place my butterfly anywhere else in the card area. I'm going to embellish it with some basic pearls, and you can use take your pick tool and pick up basic pearls. And I have made a variety of different cards using the butterflies, and you can choose to keep adding pearls. I've just been putting them towards the top, but you can add as many as you want. And here you have we got to attach this part. I'm going to attach this with dimensionals, and I just placed it down. I forgot to attach it. You can place this down with your double-sided adhesive. I'm going to place it with some dimensionals, and I'll just use the mini one since I have them right there. I'm going to just put it along the edge here. And there we have a beautiful card made with the Brilliant Wings dies and some specialty foil sheets. So here are some other cards that I've made using the different foil sheets. This is the Rococo Rose in that same packet. And here I changed the orientation of the card, and the butterflies are cut out up towards the top, and I just added more brick cutouts here. And here's another one with that same orientation. And here's one using some gold foil and some added trim. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you found me via YouTube, look in the direct comments, or look in the comments for a direct link to my blog post where you'll find the supply list measurements and a PDF tutorial you can download. I would love to have you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click the red box under the video. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed creating this project with me. Stay safe and stay healthy.